Hello and welcome to Coffee and Conversation, commissioning news, updates, and incentives. We're so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. As we begin the event today, we do have some important housekeeping notes for you. Attendees, you are all muted you don't have the ability to unmute. However, you can use the chat to say hello, let us know where you're joining in from. Additionally, you can enter all questions for our speakers today in the Q&A field, which is located on your Zoom toolbar, and we will respond to your questions at the end of the program. And closed captioning is enabled for this session. You will also see that icon located on your Zoom toolbar if you choose to watch the closed captioning. Recording link and resources will be shared in an email. For attending today, you'll be entered to win a drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card. And with all of that out of the way, I'm now pleased to introduce our host, Jason Hyatt. Take it away, Jason.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for attending the Coffee and Conversation. I appreciate everyone coming for these. Try not to do too many of them to fill your calendar, but I hope that this is worthwhile for you. We're going to go through introductions of the team today that's helping out and me presenting. We're going to do our obligatory safety moment that I know everyone loves. And we have upcoming events locally and across the states. We have some program outreach updates, program highlights. Going to discuss a little bit of feedback that we've gotten from commissioning professionals, kind of some barriers to participate as we see them, a new commissioning professional project qualification step or process. It's not an additional step. New project flow, commissioning program overviews, just to give you, if anyone has any kind of big questions or high overview questions. We have a few updates. Then, of course, we'll have questions for everyone. We'll answer everyone's questions, and then we have a giveaway at the end of the presentation. Most of you know me, but those who don't, I'm Jason Hyatt. I'm a senior EME with Puget Sound Energy within our customer energy management group. I manage our portfolio of commissioning programs and as well as do custom grants and work on controls projects. I also like to kick it off to Jeff Peterson to go ahead and introduce himself.
Thanks, Jason. My name is Jeff Peterson. I'm a consulting energy management engineer in our commercial and industrial retrofit program, of which commissioning is a very large part. I've been here for 20 years. I've had the pleasure of working with Jason for 17 of them. So I found if you need to get a project into PSC and make it fly, Jason will do everything he can to get your project in for an incentive. So thank you very much. And as is customary for PSE meetings, we start off everything with a safety moment. So here we go. In theory, camping season is coming up. The snow in the yard may delay that a little bit. But when you're going camping, make sure you bring a first aid kit to prepare for medical emergencies. Stay hydrated. If you're thirsty, you're already behind the curve. So keep drinking all the way up, and make sure it's water, not the other stuff. Pack plenty of insect repellent. Stay away from citronella. It attracts bears. Remember the golden rule: leave no trace. If you're bringing stuff, pack it in, pack it out, stay on appropriate trails, and be safe that way. For pets, make sure their vaccinations are up to date. Have a pet first aid kit on hand. Don't let them run wild. It's dangerous, and check them daily for ticks. Incidentally, I think if you substitute child for pet in each of these bullet points, it's still remarkably appropriate. For tents, nothing flammable inside the tent. Use battery operated lanterns, flashlights, and glow sticks if you need to. Set up your tent so that insect screens and rain drainage functions properly. Additional tip, make sure your ground cover does not extend beyond the edges of your tent. You'll find out if it rains. And also, before you hop in your sleeping bag for the night, make sure that you look in it and no unwelcome guests show up also. Same thing for boots that you're leaving outside of the tent. So that's the safety moment. And I think it's back to Jason.
Thanks, Jeff. A few events that are coming up. The most, I guess, pending or most imminent event is our Powerful Facility Energy Conference. PSC is one of the sponsors, but it's also IFMA, which is an organization for facility managers, and also the Electric Lead. Also coming up is EE West. I think all of you are aware, it's in Long Beach, California this year. There's also the NEA Efficiency Exchange that's down in Portland at the beginning of May. Smart Buildings Exchange back to local in August. And if any of you are going to Orlando, Florida, there in October, there is BCA's annual conferences there this year. And I'm hoping to go to that one, and definitely the Powerful Facility, you'll see me up. One item for our outreach. I know all of you have probably noticed that we've been pretty aggressive in outreach the past 2 years. Resource Innovation was our outreach specialist. We have ended our contract with Resource Innovation, at least for that regard. And now, as a stopgap, it's really going to be back to commissioning at psc.com. And many of you know that that is just a fancy way of saying Jason Hyatt. I'll pretty much be short term and long term. I don't mind fielding questions ever, but I'll be the regular point of contact and always there for any trainings, meetings, that are outside of any schedule. And I'm happy to set stuff up with you individually. The outreach plan moving forward is we're actually going to hire a technical account executive. It hasn't been posted yet, so don't jump on our website, but it should be in the next week, I think. But that is going to be account executive that is going to be focusing on trade ally relationship and also commissioning. They're going to be, as it's outlined so far, a contractor point of contact to really help develop projects and provide guidance, help kind of intertwine the different paths that we have at PSC and really help fill the gaps if there are any, so that you always have someone that you can do a quick call. If it's just a quick question, you never have to kind of fish through the website, even though we do have great information there. But if you need a quick question, we will set that up for the future. The first poll that we have, I would like to kind of get a feel for how often the folks that are on the call today are interested in having a meetup. We do track who's answering. So if you answer kind of what your interest is, if it's bi-weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or just whenever you want to meet, that's also fine. I will be in touch with you after the presentation in the near future to set up a time if you want regular meetups with me to discuss projects or do trainings. It's really open for whatever interests you most. Let's see. All right, so quarterly when needed, monthly. Okay. I didn't think we'd have a lot of takers on the bi-weekly, but I'll be in touch soon and we can set this up and really get kind of dig into exactly what the need is for each individual. Thank you for answering. So I'd like to start with, or start the middle with some program highlights. We're still sitting at 4 overall programs. This includes the bucket of commissioning in general. We have a 0.71 simple payback that we're realizing. We've had a pretty decent increase, even more so than that is represented since when I made this slide. I think these, the 20 to 26 buildings, the 400 to 500% increase are pretty much like hot leads. We're working on them at some point, but I've also in, a few days probably have had another 20 buildings / customers or projects that have shown interest in moving forward with the commissioning project that we're working with. And probably the forecast that's here. The 18 commissioning professionals, those are the folks that have been onboarded in the last year and some change. And then the forecasting, kind of what we're expecting for 2023 is between 3 and 5 million kilowatt hours, 20,000 to 50,000 therms. And like I said, with the kind of groundswell that we've kind of seen recently, that forecast might increase substantially for 2023 or beginning of 2024. We'll see. For program offerings, we've actually removed post-occupancy commissioning. It was clear that there was no interest. I think that, yeah, just didn't get a whole lot of hits for folks working with post-occupancy commissioning. And I think there's other paths that customers are interested in. For one being maybe adding monitoring-based commissioning in the new construction phase rather than as a retrofit. So we're going to be adding monitoring-based commissioning to new construction. And what we've seen for kind of moving the number of projects that we've had outside of kind of our outreach that we've been doing is definitely the Clean Building Law, House Bill 1257. I'm sure all of you guys are well aware of that, and this will probably be the first presentation in a while that I do not explain it or go into any amount of detail about it. So congratulations to all of you. You've won already. So we did solicit some of the commission professionals to kind of see how we could, remove barriers to participate and get their feedback on what they would like to see. Some of the questions that we asked are, does using PSE programs make it easier or harder to sell projects to customers? Are you using the Clean Building Law to sell commissioning programs, projects? If you were to create a more perfect commissioning program, which elements would you include and make more appealing to customers? And how much you suggest improving our website, literature, training, and so on and so forth. So those are a few. We asked a lot more. It wasn't just a four question survey, but those were kind of a sample of kind of what we were looking for. Some of the answers we got from the commissioning professionals are the programs are great to increase interest, but developing projects with PSE can be a little bit muddy in the early portion. Folks are leveraging clean buildings to pull in projects. There was a interest in separating energy management from commissioning in the early stages, adding scoping, implementation, and monitoring-based commissioning into multi-year program for better cash outlay, and needs to understand the clear expectation and scope. One-on-one training, which is a part of that poll, I think will help out a lot. Eliminating outdated programs, simplifying paperwork, and it just as something we are always working on. But some of the, well, I guess this is one of the, answers to those points. But one thing to note is we are currently in a planning year. Not that I'm not always looking to remove any sort of barriers or streamline. I think most of you who have worked with me know that I'm always interested in hearing feedback per project. If there's anything that ever is a hiccup or something that just seems wonky or it's back and forth, I'm 100% willing to listen and always hoping to fine tune the program as we move forward. So one thing that I've dialed in, or hope that I've dialed in for qualifying projects, is to make it a little bit easier and not so much using PSE as the qualifier. In the past, we've had the checklist. We asked that you bring the checklist that gives us an idea of what the building looks like, in the near future and what's going to happen as far as construction for, say, control and whatnot. And that was a little wonky. So what I have turned it into is now we just have 7 questions. You're looking at them right here. Is it a PSE customer? Is the program going to include all of the conditioned square feet? Is there building level metering? Is the management operations staff have approved the process, are on board? Is the building greater than 50,000 square feet, of course, with the campus exemption? We're really looking like how we log our savings and whatnot. The minimum, that, since we do a prescriptive amount for that base incentive, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, the minimum savings we look at is about 5% to say, they're going to get a lot out of this. The savings is, of course, one, but also, the facility guide and whatnot. And how I quantify that with some folks, like there's a few different ways. Obviously, you guys probably have your own, but if the EUI is greater than or equal to what the target is for the clean building, or if they're kind of in that average range for EUIs of buildings of similar type, they'd probably be able to hit that 5%, and we would move forward with the commissioning at your suggestion. We also want to make sure that they have DDC controls, and they're not planning on updating in 5 years. And many of you know we have controls programs, and we don't need to intertwine both of them. One thing to note, if any of those bullet points, the answer is no, you can also call me, because there are some that are, well, it depends. Like for, the building square footage, if it's 30,000, 40,000, but it's a very energy dense building, or it's a, campus, there might be extenuating circumstances that we can go ahead and move it forward. But if there already knows, that's a call, Jason, and just get a thumbs up from me, and we can move forward. How does that look in the process? Is one, you find an interesting customer, ask them the 7 qualified question, and you decide which path they should go on for commissioning. At that point, you just give me the application. We would meet with the customer, and this is as much as a part of the process as a service. So we can do this before the application, after the application. It's really just a point for us to get in front of the customer with all of the stakeholders for the project, and answer any questions. Let them know what the expectations are, what the incentive levels are going to look like, and answer, the programs are a little complicated for most folks to wrap their heads around, especially when you compare it to, like, a lighting project or any sort of implementing a piece of equipment. But once we, meet with the customer, have the application, at that point, we would create a contract, and away we go. So we no longer need the checklist. We don't have to do the whole back and forth. This is at your discretion and at your review. We can move forward with these projects quicker. As a quick overview, I'm not going to go into great detail because this is more about the changes that we're making, and we don't necessarily need to go into me explaining all these, because I'm sure most of you on this call have heard my voice and me explain these programs ad nauseum, and could do with a break. So just the basic kind of rundown is, of course, we have the existing building commissioning program. It's a full manual process. It's broken into 3 phases. The initial assessment phase, then we have the implementation, and then the performance. And the incentive, the max incentive rates are there in parentheses. Looks like I missed closing parentheses on one of those. For the monitoring-based commissioning as a technology-based process, it also has 3 phases, but this is more just a standalone monitoring-based commissioning program where you're implementing the software onto the existing equipment and controls. And then after everything has been installed and dialed in, we would be able to provide 2 performance incentives. The reason we have 2 performance incentives for the monitoring base is because we really want that process of constantly, that reiterative processes of monitoring, identifying, fixing, validating your buildings to really be ingrained with the customer. And then for lastly, the tune-up, which is our prescriptive process. And it's just in 2 phases. The implementation phase, we do that a little bit different, where it's 5,000 per 100,000 square feet. And then we have a performance incentive in addition to. For the tune-up, the changes that we are making, I believe the person's name was Jason Hyatt. He got a little ahead of himself with the measures and trying to include them all. So what we're trying to do is really streamline the prescriptive measures for the tune-up to align better with the Seattle tune-up, but really follow that 80-20 rule. You know, we want 80% of the savings with 20% of the effort. So we're reducing the measures from approximately 60 measures, depending on how you count them, to approximately 30. And of course, go into the most detail would be your HVAC and controls, but also take a quick look at your envelope and your lighting. We're going to be simplifying the spreadsheet since we're reducing the number of measures. That'll be a little bit easier. I think there's a few sections that made it a little bit clunkier than it needs to be with fewer measures. And really the vision and why we designed this program is for, you know, like when customers are going into a new building, they have no idea what they're stepping into. Well, yeah, no idea, but they have less of an idea of what's going on in this building than they should. So maybe they want to do like a cursory overview, review of the building, and kind of just dig in and kick the tires would be a good metaphor. But also for contractors that maybe are starting a new service contract and they want to hit the ground running, make sure the building is operating at peak efficiency before they start their service contract to whatever extent they plan. And then also as an added value for monitoring-based commissioning. So to get that kind of initial review and dial in the building, and then begin your commissioning service for monitoring-based commissioning. So this will be my plan for this year. This is what I'm working on right now. I've tried to put these in kind of order of, I guess, importance, or at least order of operation. We're going to have a new web page that's going to essentially have all of our tools and everything that is going to be in one spot. So it's currently there. We have a lot of example documents. We let you guys use your own documents, but we do find that a lot of commissioning professionals kind of ask about those templates that we have, or they would like a little guidance in some direction. So we're going to create a web page to kind of put all those tools that we have currently. Of course, we're going to update them all before we do it. That's kind of what we're working on now. But first, of course, is going to be the checklist calculators to account for any changes that we're going over today. And then we're going to update any job aids, tools that most of you guys have seen some of them, at least to some extent. Those will be on there. And then what I'm going to create are some example documents to make it a little bit easy to kind of compare and contrast or see visually. I'm a visual person, to see exactly what PSC is looking for. What do we mean by a final commissioning report, or the commissioning plan, tune-up report, and so on and so forth. So we're going to get a few examples of those out there, so a little bit easier, and you don't have to kind of guess when we give you a blank to fill in. I think I'm making jokes with some of my peers that if you give a blank for someone to fill in, you're either going to get like a word or an autobiography. There's no in between. It's one of the others. So I want to make sure that you guys aren't working harder than you need to, because the last thing we want you to do is just be bogged down and creating reports or information that's we don't need, or that perhaps you don't think you need either. So we want you guys doing the work, not doing the reports. So hopefully that'll help streamline that process for you guys. So this has been, some of you have probably heard me discuss, pitch, however you'd like to describe it. We've been allowing this to some extent, but it wasn't really dialed in. But now we have it more dialed in to use monitor-based commissioning more with more flexibility. I've been calling it kind of the monitoring-based commissioning a la carte. So you can use monitoring-based commissioning as a service. You're just doing monitor-based commissioning, and that goes right into that standalone program that I described earlier with the 3 phases. You have the implementation, and then you have the 2 performance. But and which my preference is the second one here, where you want to do the full existing building commissioning, but you want to add monitoring. Instead of making it a manual process, you want to use technology and ongoing commissioning process on top of the commissioning, existing building commissioning. If that's what you want to do, which is my favorite, because I think you get the biggest bang for your buck, biggest savings reward, and you get the best persistence of savings, in my opinion. But if you were to go that route, we would offer an additional performance incentive on top of what we normally offer for existing building commissioning. So where it had 3 phases, the assessment, the implementation, the performance, you now have performance. So there will be 4 phases. For the tune-up, I kind of alluded to this on the previous slide. We will let you, if you want to do a tune-up to kind of get a better idea, or if you need to do a little bit more legwork to get before you get into the monitoring-based commissioning, we can have the tune-up in addition to the monitor-based commissioning, and that basically stacks the incentives for both the tune-up and the monitoring-based commissioning. So it would be that $5,000 per 100,000 square feet for the tune-up, but then you would also get your monitoring-based commissioning 15 cents a square foot, and the 2 performance. It says 1+1 performance, but that's just kind of a matter of perspective. So for the tune-up, already has a performance, so you'd be adding an additional performance. And then, of course, there's the new construction. We haven't had anyone use this, but there's been people asking, what are you going to do if there's a customer that's interested in it? We can do it if they want to do it as a single measure, or with other measures, of course. But the one thing it would not really work well with is if they're doing the EUI approach. The EUI approach for new construction is really, there's an expectation that you're doing everything to get the lowest EUI. So we can't really incentivize on top of an assumed incentive. So if you are doing the EUI, which is a great newish program, that is the one where it does not really work with. But otherwise, we're happy to work with the customer on monitor-based commissioning for the new buildings. So here's the second poll. I'm interested in kind of, if you include the clean building law, like the compliance for the clean building law within the scope when you're doing proposals or creating proposals for commissioning projects, is that a part of the conversation you're having with the customer? That'd be great. I guess it's a yes, no, but also some of you, not all of you, might know that we also have the Clean Building Accelerator, or actually most of the utilities are up and down I-5, that we can also offer to you or your customers as a training device for you guys, or a training resource. So if that would be helpful to you, we can also put you in touch and get you on a cohort for whomever or whenever. Great. So most of you are using Clean Building. How, for those of you that, I guess one person asked the how, there are a lot of things that you're doing as a part of commissioning that can be pulled into the clean buildings. Like you are, pulling their utility bills, you are determining what their targets are, you're developing not exactly how the clean building law requires, but if you were using the clean building format, I guess, for the maintenance plan For instance, you might be able to kind of help that kind of pull customers in if they're interested. Because right now, a lot of folks need help with clean buildings, and you can directly help them with preparing their documentation that they need, identifying what their target is, seeing kind of the path to get to compliance, or potentially point out the clean building accelerator that PSE has to get them trained up so that they're aware that this is coming down the pike and that commissioning is a very good path for compliance to get to their target EUI. So there's a few ways there. So we have reached the Q&A portion. If you have not answered or asked any questions yet, if you could type your questions into the Q&A chat, that would be great. And we'll answer questions that we have so far. Jeff?
Okay. Thanks. To start this off, we have some pre-submitted questions, and we'll try to get to as many live questions as we can in the time that we have left. So we'll start off with the pre-submitted questions. Jason, can you touch on the process and when the best time to bring PSE into a project is?
I think for across any of our programs, we really like to be brought in early. That allows us to answer any questions that the customer may have and solidify kind of what the incentives and get them on the path. For commissioning, it would generally be when you are, if you're early talking to a customer, if you need us to be a resource for you in order to kind of answer any questions to the customer, that would be a really good time. Some folks are more, I guess, seasoned, and they might bring us in when the application is ready. If they have a already got a customer that is committed to doing the process. So it really, I would say early always, but I know that sometimes when you're busy, it's kind of hard to, get us early on, or you don't want to complicate it. But if you need us as a resource, I would say early as you can, but also we can once you pull in the application.
Got it. Thank you. Next question is, can the customer participate in multiple programs in order to maximize incentives?
That is a great question. Absolutely. Most of our programs are able to stack. There's the only programs that don't, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, would be if you wanted to do a controls upgrade and you wanted to do commissioning. We wouldn't do that because you get commissioning when you're doing when you're getting a new control system, and then you wouldn't want to commission a control system that you are about to upgrade. So that's the one of the programs that don't really fit well with each other. But other than that, if you have capital projects, or if you're working with CSIM or any of our other programs, we're happy to add as many measures that you want to implement into the contract.
As a follow-up to that, if I did have a controls project, could I use monitoring-based commissioning as an add-on?
Yes, we have included in the last 2 years in the list of potential measures. If you, it also helps if you are, say, because to qualify for controls, you need to have 3 additional new sequences as we outline them. And if you say have 2 and you wanted to do monitoring-based commissioning, you could use that monitoring-based commissioning as a measure to qualify you for the controls protocol.
Thank you. Next pre-submitted question. What's the process for handling applications that come in through customers directly?
I would say that represents I think the latest customer probably skews my my estimate that I was going to give, but generally speaking, about 95% of projects come in from you guys, from commissioning professionals. We rarely have customers come in and that move forward with projects, but when they do, we give them the list of qualified commissioning professionals, and we always encourage them to, if they have relationships with a certain contractor that's not on the list, we can qualify them, or if they work with someone on the list, they can use them, or if they have a large project, I think we would probably just suggest that they talk to folks that have done similar projects. So get a couple of bids or talk to a few folks. So we don't specifically give direct names. We generally just tell them that, here's a list, everyone's been qualified, everyone can perform this project well, and the best way is to talk to them and make sure that they're a good fit for your buildings.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. For this poll, we are trying to get you guys information as you need it. So instead of us contacting everyone individually, we have a policy where we want you guys to opt in to our communication. I'm not going to spam you. This is really so that we can build our commissioning professional communication or contact list, so that when we have these trainings or something specific to commissioning pops up, if you opt into this, then we can communicate that with you. If you're not on the list, then you have to pretty much find out about any up and coming events, news, or anything pretty much through the website. So I would highly advise anyone that's on the training right now to opt in, so that we can keep you up to date on anything going on happening into the future. But hopefully that will limit the amount of times I communicate with you. Okay. So if you have any questions about commissioning, please, you can email me. Like I said, it's commissioning@pse.com. That is me. There'll be a survey after today's event. Happy to hear from you. And those that fill out, I was burying the lead. I hope those have stayed on to get to hear this part. But if you fill out the survey, you will be entered to win a complimentary admission to the Powerful Facility conference that is happening next week, the 16th. Yeah, next week. So please answer the survey and you will be entered to win. Those that are attending today, you have already been entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card, and we will notify the random winner today. Check your emails, and you will can't wait to hang out with the new person. I need some new tools. And yeah, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate everyone who came to the event, and you will be seeing the survey as soon as you leave the event. And please feel free to visit pse.com/events to find out what we're doing in the community. But again, on behalf of myself and everyone at PSE, thank you very much.